That is exactly what Cain did to God. Just in case I don't get it back, I'm gonna give God my mid pack. Like I'm gonna give him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give God my mid pack.
Oh, you get the mid pack. You know what I'm saying?
Just in case I don't get it back and what I thought it was. Right.
Facts. Welcome back, man. Hey, listen, we just had a little therapy session before this episode too. And we talked about environment on the previous one, but that's why your environment is huge.
Very huge.
Because I think we wouldn't have gotten that if we weren't here.
Yeah. Immerse yourself.
You have to. But welcome back, man, to the Freewenow.
Till it's backwards.
Yes, sir, ski. Hey, and look, all right, just vulnerable moment. We feel like we've been a little rigid. We feel like we have we talk some good stuff. Don't get me wrong. We do talk some
great
good stuff.
I'm not underselling it.
We talk some great stuff, right? But we feel like y'all still haven't heard our best conversations yet. Because I feel like when we leave the studio and we on the phone talking, or we chopping up with our homie somewhere else, it's still about deep stuff.
Yeah.
We still haven't been, I guess, as comfortable to deliver deep content. So, vulnerable moment, growth moment, we're coming from a place of where?
Growth, not perfection.
Facts.
Growth.
We're coming from growth, not perfection.
Yeah.
You feel me? So, I hope y'all are growing with us. Like, we're not perfect. Use us as an example in your life, right? In 2021, we started this podcast. A ton of videos, never put them out.
They still in my phone right now.
Never put them out. To this day, we got a bunch of content. Never put it out.
40 years.
40 years. He got 40 years, right? We got 40 years worth of content that we just never put out because we were procrastinating.
Yeah.
And now we're like, all right, cool. When Keith came back, we started recording off his iPhone. You feel me? On the iPhone. Now we in the studio. Now we got an actual camera and a videographer and a whole, now it feels like a team. Now it feels like a production. We're getting there. We're growing. So use us as an example of growth, not perfection. You'll never have it all right.
Yeah, never.
You'll never have it all right.
And even more, you'll never feel like you got it all right.
Right. Somebody else will be like, oh yeah, y'all doing y'all thing. We like, yeah, we got a little bit more in us. You know what I'm saying? So what you got for the people? Anything?
Hey, circumstance does not relieve you of your responsibility. Just because things are harder, just because they're not easier, doesn't mean that you still don't have to make the right decision. Stop allowing your circumstance to relieve you of your responsibility and then blaming your circumstance.
We in the school zone. You gotta drive slow.
Gotta drive slow.
Don't let your Yo, that's so heavy because a lot of times we make excuses because of our circumstances. Oh, well, I had to do this because this is my circumstance.
Yeah.
Or I had to rob this person because I'm broke.
Yeah.
Or I had to kill them because they did this, that, and the third. It's like, at the end of the day, you still gonna get the time, bro.
You know, it's crazy thing. I seen somebody say, nobody cares how bad or how important or how real your excuse is. It's still an excuse.
It's still an excuse.
It doesn't matter what the excuse is. Still an excuse. Come on now. Come on now.
Excuses are what? Yeah,
Yeah, they don't know nothing about that.
You get that on the way home. You'll get that on the way home. You know what I'm saying? What are excuses? All right. Chapter 4 of Genesis, right? Cain and Abel.
Very big brothers.
Cain and it be your own people.
Be your own people.
Right? So we're going to talk about some themes that we've seen in chapter 4 of Cain and Abel and how you can learn from this. Because this is a real story. This is real people. How you can learn from this and better your life. What are some things you got from it, bro?
All right. So in verse 4 and 5, right, it talks about the offerings that both Cain and Abel gifted to God, right? And it said that Abel bought the firstlings of his flock. And then Cain brought his whatever he brought. And God looked upon Abel's offering and was happy. And he looked upon Cain's and was like, nah, I'm not rocking with that, right? So when I say this, I mean, just offering God something is not enough. Offering him your best is the only thing, right? And it's so important to understand that, because when you offer God your best, like, you're going to get it in return. You're going to get more. You're going to get more abundance than you ever gifted to him. So why would you think that offering him the side amount, or the least that you have is something he's deserving of, right? It's like the same thing where they had I seen people talking on a podcast about how this woman was holding her side savings, right? Her just in case savings, like, just in case doesn't work out, I have these savings over here. That is exactly what Cain did to God. Just in case I don't get it back, I'm gonna give God my mid pack. Like, I'm gonna give him I'm gonna give God my mid pack.
Oh, you get the mid pack. You know what I'm saying?
Just in case I don't get it back and what I thought it was, right? Offering God your best should be the only thing that you ever do, right? Because he's only going to give you better, right? The reason you have your best is because God gave you those opportunities.
Right.
He put you in that flow. He put you in that position to thrive, to work, to understand, right? Because you studied the words of God. That is the reason you have your best. That is the reason we were on this earth. We were put here to serve based off the guidance that God has given us, based off the purpose and the gift that he put in us. So why would we give him the fruits of our labors and it not be the best? Why would it be the rotten fruit? Why would it be the side fruit? Why would it be the fruit that we wouldn't even give to the people that we really care about, right? Y'all, people think since God is so great and everything like that, he doesn't need to have our best because he already has it, right? But that's not the purpose. The purpose is showing him that no matter how many of the great things that you get, you understand that it is all a result of his love and his care for you. So you give it and you gift it back, right?
Facts.
But even one of the crazier things is, we'll probably go deeper in the podcast about it, this starts to show the jealousy from not putting in the work. The jealousy that comes from not putting in the work.
Facts.
For looking at other people's gifts and other people's success and not taking in accountability for the lack thereof that you put in, and being mad at what they got.
Man, listen, right? Two things, right? Keith brought up a great point, right? Two things. The first thing is it baffles me, right, that people are so slow to tithe, right? There's a not okay. I'm not tithing because I don't have the knowledge and the wisdom about tithing. I understand that, but once you learn and you know and you have some good teaching on tithing, I don't understand why you are so hesitant to give back something that don't even belong to you
at all.
You know what I'm saying? It's like I loaned you $10, but then when I'm telling, hey, you got my money? Nah, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I got like a couple dollars right now. I'll give you $2 now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like people are so slow to give back things that don't even belong to them.
Yeah.
It seems like you start taking ownership. Why are you taking ownership of things that don't belong to you? Yeah. Like, this ain't ours anyway. So like, why am I so slow to give something back that don't even belong to me? Yeah. And not even just slow. Why isn't it the best?
Yeah. Something
that don't belong to me, I can't give it back. I can't give back the best that belonged to the person that had the rightful owner. I don't understand that, bro. Like, and then, like you said, then you mad at somebody else for doing the right thing, right? And then on the second thing is that right now we're looking at a sense of, okay, we're not giving back the best quality of products. We're not giving them back things, right? The tangible stuff. But look at your life. Are you giving God your best?
Yeah.
Are you giving God your best energy? Or does he get your energy when you coming home from work and you tired and you already worked out and been dealing with all these problems? Or is that the first thing you do when you wake up, you give your full energy to God? Because we know your energy is like a gas tank. In the morning it's full, by the end of the day it's on E.
Yeah.
So like, are you giving your best energy to God? Are you giving your best time to God? Right, okay, well, I got a little time, I'm squeezing me in right quick. Yeah, I'm gonna give him a little, before I go to sleep, I'm sleepy. Oh, okay, good night, bye-bye. I love you, God. Right, like, what are the intangibles that you should be giving to God that you also not giving your best? And then you want a miracle to come down and rain down on you. You praise him for worshiping for a miracle, right? When in turn it's like, you don't even give God his best, so why would he want to give you his best?
You know what's even crazier is that they'll receive the best, right? They'll receive the best that God has to offer, right? And they'll give him half effort back, but continue to keep asking for his best, right? Like, hey, God, I need to borrow $10. Right. I need to borrow $10 tomorrow. You know, I just got to make this quick payment, right?
Right.
God comes and, hey, yo, where my money at? I don't think that's how God's gonna act, right? But let me change this up, right? Hasan give me $10, right? He comes to me, hey, yo, Keith, where my money at? I'm like, I got $2, bro. I got $2. I'll get you the $10 next week. Next week, I come back to Hasan, hey, bro, I need to borrow $15. I need to borrow $15. I didn't even give him his $10 back originally, right? That's the thing. People are trying to take and not give the same quality that they have gotten. You have to understand it is a give and take thing, right? And you can't take them more than you offer. You should offer more than you take. You should always give more than you take, right? And that's just on some personal growth stuff, right? Offer more than you take out of the world, right? Because that's important. You get more out of the stuff you give than the stuff that you take.
You know what's interesting, bro? In these verses, it says Abel was a keeper of sheep. It seems like these people that God puts over sheep is like a direct parallel to the great people that are the greatest people.
You got to be a leader for that too.
Like David, he was a keeper of sheep, right? Like before he went to go slay Goliath, that was kind of like his job, right? Like I want to say Joseph might have either. I can't remember. But anyway, it's a huge kind of like nuance that I'm noticing that every person that was a keeper of sheep ended up being great people in the Bible. So now I'm thinking to myself, bro, what is it about keeping sheep or tending to a flock that makes you, like you said, a great leader? It's almost like you are forced to be of service to things, to animals or people that can't do for themselves.
They don't understand the whole scope.
They don't understand the whole scope. How do you treat the least of me is what God said. You know what I'm saying? How you treat the least of me is how you treat me. So if you're able to take care of sheep and herd sheep who just wander, they'll just get lost.
Just do sheep stuff.
They'll just do sheep stuff. You feel me? So those people in the Bible that tend to the sheep, in real life, those people that help the least of him, right? The people that don't have any direction, the people that don't know where to go, they can't provide for themselves, right? That creates a great leader. That creates a great man of God, right? And it's interesting, right? It kind of reminds me of Jacob and Esau, right? Jacob was, we'll say, tending to things around the house. Esau was outside hunting, right? Esau ended up getting jealous of Jacob, right? In this instance, it said Cain was a tiller of the ground, right? And Abel was a keeper of sheep. Cain ended up getting it, you know what I'm saying, jealous of him. Yeah. It's like, and she said, Eve said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. She conceived and called unto the Lord and said, thank you, I have gotten a man. Yeah. When Abel was born, they didn't say that she said that about Abel, right? So it's interesting to see that about this kind of like theme, this background theme of keepers of sheep, people that appear to be super manly, right? But then they end up getting jealous. It brings me to this point. It's like true confidence is quiet. You know what I'm saying? True confidence, the person that's always mouthing off, always like macho, always like, look at me, I'm this, that, and they ain't really like that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, women, I'm gonna give you a secret. If he always talking and he always blabbing about how much money he got, he overcompensating. If he's showing, every time he's showing you his muscles and he's so strong and he's so big, he overcompensating for something, right? I ain't gonna say what he overcompensating for. You feel me? That ain't my business. You know what I'm saying? My name business, I ain't in it, right? But be wary of men who are super just like, look at me, I'm here. They probably overcompensating for something. I may be wrong, but I doubt it.
But I think what you're alluding to, it shows the importance over the mind compared to the body, right?
For sure.
A lot of these individuals are talking about what they physically can produce, right? What they physically can do, right? Woo. But you got to... You feel me?
Not fact.
They're talking about what they can physically produce or physically provide, right? But these are things that go over time. When you get older, to a certain point, you don't keep getting stronger. Eventually, like, you get tired. Eventually, you don't have the ability to put that weight up like you used to, right? Your body starts to leave you, right? But your mind is still there. So being, as you said, that sheep herder, you have to become smart. You have to find ways to motivate the sheep to do what you want them to do, right? And also do it in a way that is productive for their lifestyle, to make them be better. But then you always got these wolves coming around and trying to take away from, right? But now that's also your responsibility to protect them from that.
Bro, you just described providing and protecting.
Bro,
the keeper of sheep literally become great men because they're providing and protecting for the sheep.
Exactly.
And you got to use your mind to be able to provide and protect.
Yeah.
So like you said, bro, ladies, give y'all another gem. When people, we say provide and protect all the time, but what does that mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, we know, I think based on the podcast craze now, I think everybody gets it, right? Women, your nurturers, your divine femininity is to multiply what we got going on, right? Men, to provide and protect. A lot of times we immediately think about money. We think about being strong, right? And all those things are true, right? But we never talk about your mind.
Your mental.
We never talk about how mentally strong you are, right? So if you want a good man, a man in the Bible, I'm giving y'all a gem. These great men all were keepers of sheep.
Yeah.
Those men had to provide and protect. So they had to have the mental and the physical. So if a wolf was coming up, if a bear was coming up, they said David was a keeper of sheep. Before he slayed Goliath, he killed a bear and a lion.
Yeah.
You feel me? He had to be strong and he had to be able to think, right? Like, if you want a great man, you need to look for these men that are providing and protecting things that can't do that for themselves. Yeah. That have no direction for themselves. That's a gem, man. Stop playing, yo. Stop playing, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like, anyway, and that's another thing why the Bible is so great, is because you can get so many lessons out of this story.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So on a jealousy tip, talk about how the jealousy now of him looking at Abel and he ain't even putting in the work.
So as we stated before, right, he's seen that actually, I don't even think he perceived Abel's offering as better than hers. He said, well, I kind of gave you something too, God, right? But God looked at both of their offerings differently. But the first thing that he did is he didn't take that self accountability, or he didn't take that self growth or that option to look at what he provided. He immediately looked at what somebody else was doing. You know what I'm saying? And then he made it his own mindset or his own prerogative. Like, well, I don't kind of like that offering, so God should like my offering, right? God should take this. God should look upon me with favor. But he's not understanding that God's not asking for your best to be the same best as somebody else. But what he is asking for is, say you got two pieces of fruit. One of them got 2 rotten spots. The other one got 1 rotten spot. He's not looking for that 2 rotten spot apple, right? Give him the 1 rotten, because that is your best at that time.
Whatever your best is.
Whatever your best is, that is your best at that time. So when we say this, we're not saying that everybody's best is on the same level. That's kind of subjective. Like, it's not, everybody's best isn't the same, right? But you and God know what your best is.
Facts.
So you need to offer that. And then when you offer that, you know what I'm saying, stand on business about it. But when you offer less and you get less favor and you don't get the same response that you is, the first thing isn't to look at somebody else's and get jealous of them, to get enraged, to try to formulate or take that mental preserve, or however I'm trying to make it sound right, right? And look at them as them doing wrong.
Facts.
When you know that you ain't even do right.
Facts.
Come on now.
What's interesting, bro, is in the Bible, it doesn't say, hey, this happened first, then this happened next.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'll just come earlier in a verse. So that's how you know, in my opinion, that this happened before that happened, because they told you but before that other thing that they told you about, right?
Yeah.
So in this verse, right, they first tell you that Cain brought an offering.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, a lot of times we think that quality is associated to timeline. So a lot of times we think that something is better because you did it first, or something is better because I came to you first with it. When, like, in reality, the quality is what matters.
Yeah.
So, like, even with our podcast, the quality is like like what we're saying, the message is what matters.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we don't always, and this is another thing, bro, about news reporters, news agencies, right? Everybody wants to be the first one. ABC News reporting live. We got here before CNN did. And Fox News is not even here, so CNN's better than Fox, but not better than ABC, because ABC was first. But none of you reported anything that was accurate information. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But we all are here on the scene first reporting something that's false. Keep watching us and making your lives miserable, right? Like, news stations have made it their prerogative to be first.
Yeah.
I want to be the first to get the story out. Why isn't it that news should be the first to have the truth?
Yeah.
Why isn't it that news stations should pride themselves on having the most accurate story?
Yeah.
Not the first, right? Like, okay, cool. Cain, all right, you brought it to me first. But it's probably because you ain't been putting up the work to even have the best. And then what you brought me wasn't even your best. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, don't mistake the recency of something, how soon something happens, with that it's better. Overnight successes. Don't assume because somebody got to what they perceive to be success and what their plateau is, or they're on the scene and they're doing whatever they do, as that's what is the best. And if you haven't got it yet, then that means God doesn't have his best waiting for you.
Yeah. I hate the I hate the comment or the little quote people use. If you're gonna do something wrong, do it 1,000 miles per hour wrong. I would much rather you do something slower and be right. If you're gonna show up late somewhere, don't show up. Well, if you're going to show up early somewhere, don't show up early and be wrong.
Right.
If you're going to show up late somewhere, make sure all your stuff is in a row, right? The concept of ensuring that what you're offering is a quality product is way more important than how quickly you offer it, right? Which is why there are people who are able to create businesses off of something that's already been created. How many people have created podcasts? How many people have created cars? How many people have created houses, right? They're all working towards the same thing. Just because somebody was the first person to create a car doesn't mean that they have the best standing in being a car creator.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Sure. It's the person who took their time, and you've seen the progression. Like he said, overnight successes. How many people have we seen blow up in the music industry and sports or anything and had one season or one album or one song and disappear? But it's also like the
Vagabond. Yeah.
It's like the people you see coming. It's like, oh dang, he's getting better and better and better. And this album's better than this, and this album's better than that. It's the consistent work towards being better, right? It's not the rational jump towards, let me just give you something to give you something. It's like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I would much rather tell somebody, hey, I'm gonna be a little late on getting you the product that I said you it is, and then the product blow their mind away instead of just half putting something together and they're underwhelmed by what I offered them.
Facts, bro. That's why cook food better than fast food. That's why working out is better than taking some pill. Y'all better stop taking Ozempic. I'm telling you, Ozempic. Talk to anybody that has taken Ozempic, a weight loss pill. That pill has numerous side effects, and every person that has taken that pill has experienced some of those side effects. Take it if you want to. That's why I wasn't super excited to take the COVID. I'm monologuing now. You talking about getting comfortable? That's why I was not excited to take the COVID vaccination. All of these kids right now, I'm just going to speak on it. God forbid anything else happens to anyone else, are dropping dead from heart attacks. This has never happened before. We get these vaccinations, then all of a sudden people are dropping dead. Young people, healthy people, no pre-existing conditions, and they dropping dead from heart attacks. Every day, it seems like another high school athlete drops dead from some heart attack that they've had on the court or on the field or doing something. College athletes, professional. What? You talking about take a vaccination? How you got a All right. So
I ain't saying 1 + 1 = 2, but 2 looking real right
now. You feel me? So that's my thing. Is that's like, don't mistake the how quick something comes with the quality. Yeah. Even with a dude or a chick. Just because you think that, I gamed her, bro. Like she down for me, all this. Bro, you're not that smooth.
Not that smooth.
Listen, fellas, you're never that smooth, okay? That just may be her nature. Right? And if she'll do that for you, she'll do that for somebody else. Yeah. Females, if he just doing all of this and spending money on you quick, and he doing all this flying you there, you're not that pretty, baby.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's called love bombing.
You look good. Okay, I'm not going to take that away from you. You were wonderfully and beautifully created. We got that. But if he's doing that for you, that's what he does.
For everybody.
Don't think that you're special because he's doing that for you. Okay, I'm trying to give you some game here. Fellas and women. All right, we need to stop getting our heart broken because we thinking, they did this so quick, or they talking about that they in love with me so quick, or they love me this, that, and the third. You feel me? And that ain't really what it is. That's just them. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it confused. Okay? Quality and being first and super soon are not synonymous. Get that through your head. All right, back to the word of God. All right, back to the word, right?
Can't forget about that.
You feel me? Back to the word. And so he says, so basically now, like you said, Cain is now jealous. He goes and have a conversation with his brother. Hey, yo, like, let's meet up here. Right? Because he sees that, and that's another thing, bro. Comparison is the thief of all joy.
Ooh.
So he's comparing, he's thinking, I was here quick. I did this first. I'm giving this to God. But it wasn't your best. Your brother giving his best. But you don't see that though. You feel me? You don't see the work that he's doing. Yeah. Right? Why is he getting blessed? People, there's a song by Mary Mary. They're like, it's the God in me. But what you don't know is when I go home and get on the floor, I pray to God, basically, right? You don't see when I go home and I'm praying to God. You don't see me waking up at 4:30 a.m., get my scripture out, reading God, praising him, and then going to work out. Like, you don't see all of that.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm getting blessed, right? And now you jealous of me. You trying to attack me, right? So now Cain, he killed Abel. Kill him.
Nasty work.
Nasty work. His brother. Blood brother. You feel me? Blood brother. You feel me? That's why I always say, just because we related don't mean that we family. You feel me? Family is what you do for the people when you provide and protecting for them. When you can't get nothing in return. You can be best friends with somebody, y'all become family, right? Just because we related, that don't mean we family. All right. Anyway, so now God, let's talk about the punishment, the consequences of this.
Ooh, that's very big.
The consequences of jealousy. Let's talk about the consequences of comparing yourself to somebody else when you don't even have a full story. You feel me? What happens? How does God view you sporadically acting and killing somebody and you don't even know the full scope?
Yeah. He put it on you. He put it on you, bro. Like it's what do you say? 7 times,
bro.
For what he did, his consequences were 7 times what he did. Right? Come on now. Like you gotta take the time to think about like what you did to somebody and what God can do to you. I was telling Hasan earlier, right? It's a little off topic, but it goes along, right? We're so afraid of the consequences, but we're not afraid of God. You know what I'm saying? As if somebody was to ask somebody, hey, why wouldn't you kill nobody? I'm afraid to go to hell. Well, why wouldn't you do this? Because I'm scared about this gonna happen. Well, why wouldn't you do this crime? Because I don't want to go to jail, right? But the more important thing is the person that has the ability to be there, to put you there and make your life worse is the person you should be afraid of, right? The devil, demons, hell, all this stuff is afraid of God. So why are you only worried about the consequences? If you're so worried about the consequences, right, they can be subjective. They can be lighter. They can be stronger. They can be harder. They can be worse, easier, whatever, right? So it's kind of easy to do something and be like, well, my consequences may not be as bad, right? But when you were younger, when you were growing up, you didn't do stuff wrong because you were scared of your father, right? You were scared to be disobedient to the person that was in charge of the consequences. You weren't scared of what the consequences were, right? So we have to be the same way with what God tells us to do. When he tells us not to do something, we shouldn't be working just because we don't attain the consequences. We should be working in the sense of, I'm not going to do this because I don't want to disappoint God. I don't want to deal with what God is going to bring to me. The one person that has the ability to do all these things, you know what I'm saying? And he chooses not to, which on a different sense is crazy in its own sense. Somebody has the ability to really break you down, but chooses not to, is somebody to be scared of. That's somebody to be truly scared of. Not somebody flexing the ability to do it like, hey, bro, I'll knock you out. Now, somebody has the ability to do it and chooses not to do it.
They choose not to do it.
That's who you should be scared of, right? So God is showing you his temperament and his ability to sustain for these things. And you want to go against that because you're jealous that somebody put in the work that you didn't?
Crazy.
And it's your brother?
It's your brother, bro.
7 times.
7 times. He says, verse 12. 4:12, when thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond, right? That word vagabond means to wander, to flee, to disappear, right? So he's saying you're going to be a fugitive and you're basically just going to disappear into the earth, right? On top of that, Cain tilled the ground, right? Abel was a keeper of sheep. So basically he's saying your gifts and your abilities, everything that you were put here to do would no longer work. Right? Is you're going to be lost, right? The things that produce for you is not going to work. Your gifts and abilities that you thought you had, I'm taking them away from you. And now you're just going to wander into the world. Cain says, verse 13, my punishment is greater than I can bear.
Greater than I can bear.
Isn't that amazing how you do some wrong stuff, you sin, and then the punishment comes. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't take it.
Handle this.
I can't. I'm scared. Come on, bro. Verse 14, right? He says, shall I be, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth, and it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. Right, verse 15. And the Lord said unto him, therefore, whoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him 7-fold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him shall kill him. Vengeance is mine, says the Lord. Right? A lot of times when people wrong you, when they attack you, when they try to come against you, let God handle it. I promise you, you're going to get his lick back.
Let God handle it.
I promise you, your lick ain't going to hit hard as God's. Let God cook. he gonna get his lick back. Cause if you rocking with him, if you keep giving him your best, how you just look? We children of God, right? So let's look at a parent-child relationship. I'm giving my best to my pops. I'm doing everything I can for him, worshiping him. I'm giving everything my best. I am doing what he put me here to do. I'm trying to take care of his people. I'm tending to his flock. I'm trying to grow as a person. I'm doing my best. Somebody come attack me for doing my best to please you, and you think God ain't gonna get your lick back?
Yeah, bro. Come on now.
I ain't even got no kids. You know what I'm saying? Not that I know of. Listen, I ain't even got no kids, right? I'm just playing. I don't have no kids. But I know right now, if my kids respecting me, loving me, doing everything they can to be a great son or daughter, and somebody come against my kids at school because they trying to be a great kid, you think I ain't gonna turn up?
Yeah.
You think I ain't gonna get my lick back?
Come on.
You think I ain't what? By my people, by my kids? Nah, it's up. It's up. So he says, not only are you gonna just disappear into the world, anybody that finds you is gonna kill you. And it's gonna be like it's 7 times.
7.
So imagine somebody kill you, you wake up, you kill you again, wake up, kill you 7 times over. You getting killed 7 times over every time somebody sees you. You walking around with a mark that says kill me?
Yeah.
Bro, what? That's
crazy work.
Bro, that's insane, bro.
That also, like him talking on the piece of that vengeance is God's, right? That plays into that little quote that they have, right? An eye for an eye. But people don't realize you only got 2 eyes. So if you keep playing an eye for an eye, eventually you're going to end up blind and fail to be able to see the great things that you still got in your life. You got to understand vengeance is not yours, right? It's not your responsibility, right? Because you got to think of all the times that people take vengeance, 9 times out of 10, does it work out great for them?
Right.
It usually doesn't.
Right.
Not you may be the person that get caught. You just getting your lick back and now you in jail.
That always happens. Somebody hits you, even in the NBA. Somebody hits somebody, and then the person that retaliate get the take.
It's always the second person that gets caught.
It's always the second person, yo.
It's always the second person that gets. If you learn anything, learn that. If you the second person, 9 times out of 10 you get caught because people are looking for you to do those certain things.
Right.
Somebody's already attacked you. Somebody's already went to you. They're waiting for you to retaliate.
Facts.
Like your purpose on this earth isn't to spend your life retaliating against all the wrongdoings that people have done. Your purpose is to provide your gift, to show people, to lead people, to guide people, to express love, to express God's word. God's going to take care of all these people that go against you, right? If you look in the Bible, there are plenty of examples that God's telling people, hey, don't worry about it. Anybody that goes against you,
I got you.
They're done. They're done. You don't have to do anything for that. I got you.
Nah, for sure.
Like he's showing you examples. So stop trying to take it upon yourself to be God.
Facts. You trying to be God. Play your role. Let him cook. Right? Another point on the consequences being generational. We talked last episode about consequences being generational. So be careful how you act. Right? The seed of Cain that killed Abel. Right? Now Cain is going to be killed 7 times over. Right? Then the seed, a couple generations later, Lamech, in verse 23 of Genesis 4:23, he says, "For I have slain a man to my wounding, and a young man to my hurt." Verse 24, "If Cain shall be avenged 7-fold, truly Lamech 70 and 7-fold."
Stacking up.
So now the traumas that you have, right? Even in the Love is Blind, right? I'm watching Love is Blind now, right?
I ain't watched it yet.
Bro, check it out. So in the show, bro, and I think, you know what I'm saying, this is a good brother, bro. I'm not attacking him. It's just a great picture and depiction, representation of what I'm about to say. So there's a black dude on there, right? And he has trouble committing to the person that he's connected with. And it comes out as the season goes on that his trouble with connecting to this woman comes from his dad's infidelity. So his dad would cheat on his wife, right? And his son will witness that. So now it's time for his son to commit to somebody. And now it's hard for him to commit based on the traumas that his pops passed to him, right? So these curses and these traumas, if you're not aware of them, they'll be generational and keep going. Not only keep going, they'll multiply. Cain had one that was 7-fold. Now Lamech has one that is 70 and 7-fold. That's 77.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're not careful, man, you have to be conscious of not being jealousy has now made not only you be killed 7 times, generations after you, 70 and 7, which is I can't even fathom that, right? But on the flip side, right, for Adam and Eve, after all of the crazy stuff they done, right? Granted, Cain even killing Abel is a result of Adam and Eve's mess ups.
Yeah.
So they got mess ups that affected Abel, which now affected Cain, which now is going to affect Cain's generation. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a domino effect, right? But the plans, no matter what, there is still hope, because if you believe in God and you keep walking with God, he can still bring your blessings around to you. So God still had a plan for Adam and Eve, right? They did all of that. He still had a plan for them, right? It says in the last verse, 25 and 26, and Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son and called his name Seth. For God said, hath appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew. And to Seth, to him also there was born a son, and his name Enos. Then began men to call upon the name of the Lord. So all these people that were seeds of Cain, they weren't following God. Hence why Lamech is getting killed 77 times over, right? But God still had a plan for Adam and Eve. They still believed him. God forgives. There's still hope. He still loves you, right? He brought his original plan back to them having another son, so he can now start that lineage of people that's going to follow God through Seth.
Yeah. Which is a very big thing. And one of the verses I have to go back that he touched on too, right? Verse 23, where it says, hearken unto my speech, for I have slain a man to my wounding and a young man to my hurt, right? We talked about...
I see where you're going.
We talked
I
about
see the vision.
Jealousy. We talked about these things, and now we're going to talk about how you allow your emotions to control you and take a hold of you, right? Your emotions can be a tour guide to the worst parts of town.
Hold on. We're getting to school zone. You got to drive slow. What?
Your emotions can be a tour guide to the worst parts of town, right? And let me put this even in a better analogy. Emotions are like a passenger seat driver. Right? You're driving your car. Emotions can help you out sometimes, right?
Sometimes.
They can say, hey, you're coming up on a turn, you're going a little too fast, you got to make this right. Or they can be jamming out on the aux, playing all types of great music, right? They can be doing all these things, they can be telling you stuff, but when you start to allow emotions to have control, you start missing your turns. They start not telling you when to turn, right? And one thing you would never let anybody do in your car is grab a hold of the wheel. So why would you allow your emotions to? If somebody was to grab the wheel while you're driving, say you're doing 70 on the highway and somebody grabs the wheel,
going crazy,
you would lose it. That is what it is like, allowing your emotions to control you, right? Even into another sense, imagine you let your friend borrow your car, right? Your friend being emotions, right? They come back, you got crumbs in your car, they done hit curbs, they didn't fill it up, they don't treat your stuff the same that they would treat it.
That's the worst. Somebody don't treat your car the way you treat it.
Yes.
It's chips bags everywhere, gas on empty, you got dents in it. I'm like, come on, bro.
That's because emotions don't have the ability to think logically. They only go based off of what they're feeling, right? And I got a text message from one of my really good homeboys, shout out my boy Tobin. He had sent in our group message that he knows there's some people that had lost their lives because of essentially how they were feeling, right? And he was like, yo, don't allow your emotions to take control, right? And he even put an example. He was like, you can be listening to music and your whole mood can change, right? You could play one song, you could be having a terrible day, and you play an uplifting song and everything changes, right? So that shows you there is no real basis in emotions. You have to think logically, do these things, right? And this is what he's saying, hearken unto my speech. For I have slain a man to my wounding and a young man to hurt. He was pretty much embarrassed. He was embarrassed, and he allowed his emotions to take control of his bodily functions and who he was as an individual. And he did something that affected him for the rest of his life. For the rest of his life, bro. You can't go back on a lot of these things that you do. Sometimes you get breaks. Sometimes you can. Or sometimes you end up 77 times worse than what you thought. You gotta understand, bro. Don't ever let your emotions grab the wheel while you doing 70 on the highway.
That's real. The boy going crazy. The boy got smoke coming from the mic. That boy going crazy. Catch fire on him. No, that's real though. How many of our people in our communities, bro, have killed somebody, lost people off of pride? J. Cole got a song, "Pride is the Devil."
Pride is the
You know
devil.
what I'm saying? Like, how many times, bro, does our community fall victim to that though?
Yeah.
Bro, this is a At this point, bro, this started way, you know what I'm saying? This at the beginning of times.
Exactly.
And this is what I'm telling y'all, bro. Y'all got to understand these lessons in the Bible are to better your life, bro. It's lesson, but that ain't got nothing to do with religion. That's just real straight up facts. He said, bro, I done killed 2 people because my pride got hurt.
Yeah.
My feelings got hurt. My heart was wounded. So I killed 2 people. He said, I killed a young man to my hurt.
Yes.
I'm killing people to my, like, listen to this stuff, bro.
Yeah.
Like, this is, y'all don't understand. The Bible is the original self-help book. Mm-hmm. All of this other stuff that we read that we think is super deep, or you hear somebody saying a song or a lyric and you think it's super crafty or witty, all that stuff came from the Bible, bro. Yeah. All that stuff originally started here in the Bible. We in Genesis chapter 4. We ain't even, you know what I'm saying? We ain't even got to the, you know what I'm saying? We in Genesis chapter 4.
And you know what's even crazier about what you said? Now that I just heard you say it, I killed somebody to my hurt.
To my hurt.
And to somebody to my wounding. Wounds heal. He took somebody's life because of a wound, something that will heal, not something that is permanent, not something that keeps him from living his life, to something that at that moment was a perceived sense of pain, something that can easily be overcome. He took somebody's ability to live for that.
Bro, like you said, emotions are temporary.
Temporary. You got to understand.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. And that's the danger about society now. Everything is how I feel. Well, I don't feel like it. Well, my truth, your truth, well, their truth. No, there's only one truth.
The truth.
And stop making decisions based off how you feel.
Yeah.
Like, don't let emotions grab the wheel while you're doing 70. You're doing 80 and 60. You know what I'm saying? Like, you cannot allow your emotions to rule your life, to be the decision-making guidelines and checks and balances for how you operate. And that's where we at in society. And that's why society is so lopsided, because everybody's making decisions off how they feel. You feel me? How do I feel? I don't feel like it today. Well, I'm going to do something crazy. Yeah. Well, I feel like my feelings are hurt. I'm going to go shoot up a school. Well, I feel like I'm a man when I'm really this. Well, I feel like I'm a woman. So now I should be able to go into these restrooms. No, that's not it, yo. And I'm getting it off. I don't care what y'all talking about. That is not it. Anybody making decisions off of how they feel, I don't want them. Yeah. I don't want to be around.
And I know what they doing right now. They like, he ain't never been as mad as I was. He ain't never dealt with the situations I dealt. He ain't never felt the type of pain that I felt, right? That comparison factor to belittle the lesson we are trying to teach. It don't matter how much pain you was in that situation. It don't matter what you went through in that situation, right? Everybody has the ability to not allow their emotions to control their decision making, right?
It goes back to the first quote you opened up with. About circumstances.
Circumstance does not change responsibility.
It does not. I can't use that as an excuse. Your circumstances, my feelings. Because circumstances change, just like your feelings and your emotions change. Yeah. So you can't make lifetime decisions off of changing environments.
Yeah, there got to be a point where the values and who you are as a person stands on business more than your emotions.
Hey, man, I'm popping it today. Hey, look, this is the #1 podcast out. You feel me? We're going to give it to you how it is. This for people that want to learn the Bible and want to know about the Bible, but felt like they didn't have a way to digest it. Yeah. Felt like people weren't communicating in a way that they could be receptive. This is for you. If you want to learn the Bible and God been calling you to get closer to him, we're going to give it to you in a way that you can digest it. Yes. We're going to give it to you in a way that you can be like, man, I learned something today. You feel me? That's what this is about. That's what being free is about. Learning lessons from the Bible so you can free now.
Yes.
To now we free.
And not just yourself. I'm talking about generations on generations.
Facts.
Because at the end of the day, I'm going to say this real talk. I love my women and everything like this. But man, you got to take this even more. Facts. Because the household and the generations start with the father. Facts. Just like God is our father, we are the father of the next generations. Facts. So if we don't learn how in ourselves abide by these rules and these values and these lessons, then we can't teach the people that are going to be in our family the same things. Facts. Bro, getting free. In every sense of the word.
In every sense of the word, yo. This podcast has freed me, bro. Like, listen to us, listen to you talk, listen to reading the Bible, to myself. Like, bro, this has freed me. Yeah. You feel me? Like, every chapter, bro, is something new. And what y'all don't understand is the Bible is the best Netflix out there. You talking about shows, you talking about stories.
You talking about tea?
You talking about tea? Y'all want some tea? Y'all want the tea?
Come on now.
Open up the Bible.
Tea.
You want to go to a self-help conference? Yeah. Open up the Bible.
And I think even one of the greatest things about the Bible, it shows that you can do some of the worst things and still be one of God's favorite people, right? Facts. It shows that perfection isn't the word. Growth is the word.
Growth.
Perfection isn't the word. Growth is the word. We're up here talking. We're telling y'all stuff that we knows work.
Facts.
We're telling y'all stuff that we've seen work. But just like y'all, just like everybody else, we're talking from a place of growth.
Facts.
We are growing when we do this, right? These are
Facts.
things that we are implementing in our life, and we're seeing the change.
Facts. So don't come up to us and be like, I can't believe you do it. Why you here? You did it.
Yeah.
Hey, we growing.
We're growing.
God ain't through with us yet.
At all.
He ain't through with us yet.
He using us.
He using us. He ain't through with us. You know what I'm saying? So don't be pointing fingers. Talking about, nah, it was Eve that did. Nah, it was the serpent.
Spider-Man mean.
Facts.
Spider-Man mean.
Hey, yo, Adam the serpent, Eve, all like this. Nah, no cap. Hey, man, this is a great pod. And we're gonna start being more just direct and being ourselves so you can communicate it. Because I think you're able to learn more when we're more authentic. What you got for the people?
Hey, man, I don't really got much. I said everything I had to say, man. Love to be here.
For sure.
Always gonna love to be here.
Facts.
And I ain't going nowhere.
You know what I'm
We
talking about?
ain't going nowhere.
Yes, sir, Ski. It's Freewenow.
Till it's backwards. Spider-Man me.